the question. So to start with, I would like to say that I'm a passionate Scrum Master. So with 10 years of experience in complex environments through the property, operations, and consulting sectors. As the Scrum Master, currently I'm have 2 years of experience. I have a PSM1 certification as well, and a bit of myself that I'm really empathic person. I'm volunteering in a church, and I'm bringing always that empathy to the teams which I normally collaborate with. Um, if I may, I can briefly brief you about the work which I'm currently doing.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So currently I'm leading the team of 5 developers. Um, we are at the moment we're working for the customization of CRM Flex system, which is a part of Yardi software ecosystem, which delivers property management rules and modifications through the constant improvement solutions. As of now, we mainly work on the automatic rules, cross-dependency access controls, as well as dashboards and user integration customizations. As of now, and within last actually 6 months, which facing a couple of challenges which I would like to talk about. So one of the couple of the main ones which came across my mind are we have a lot amount of unplanned work after the sprint start. We also have highly dependency environment with one of our vendors. We also have piling up impediments in terms of the layers, because the company which I work right now is still providing the waterfall approach, and I work currently as a cluster of Agile. And as well as we constantly working right now on stakeholder misalignments, which happen because of the miscommunication in terms of priorities for the different tasks. So as a Scrum Master, how I improve this situation with the last 6 months is that first I try to work closely with the to identify and promote the clear backlog refinements. I promote as well clear sprint commitments, as well as working tirelessly with cross-team communication to remove the dependencies from the external vendor, as well as I try to improve the impediment resolutions with the layers of organization by finding out and removing a couple of layers of responsibilities which was nominal and they didn't produce any value. And as well, I try to focus, and I'm actually delivering a focus on prioritization management and teaching this prioritization management to the stakeholders where all the misalignments actually happen. So this actually in the last time, so it's actually resulted in reduction of unplanned work after the sprint from 30% to 10%. It's also we removed 1/3 of our dependencies for the with the work of with external vendors, as well as we improved our stakeholder collaboration and the time of the time when we spent on that actually reduced by 20%. So overall, I will be delighted to be a part of your team and bring my perspective of continuous improvement and stable delivery production to your team, as well as the clear and structured team ownership in a complex environment. So that's a bit about myself and why I would
Thank you for that.
At yours.
Okay, great. Thank you. So you mentioned your team size is 5, and since when you have into this project? 6 months?
So that particular project that currently I'm at is it's a 6 months old.
And previously, you are into which project? Same company, right? You mentioned from May 2024, you are working
It
in
was
this one.
same company. They yeah. Yes, there was a different project, also with the customizations, but in a different sector. Like, for example, right now I'm working in a sector of property on a residential part. The previous project was actually in industrial part because they wanted to build specific customization for different part of the ecosystem,
So,
software
Eugen, how
ecosystem.
this transition happened? I was little puzzled and surprised to look into your resume. So earlier you are into property and leasing admin, and then before that you are into business development manager, and then you suddenly become a scrum master. So you are not from a IT background, right? So how you came into this scrum master role, and I mean how you are coping up with the technical guys who was working on the technology and all. Don't you think it's little difficult for you to, I mean, if we are going to hire you to adjust with our developers?
The thing is, first of all, thank you so much for the question. And secondly, I would like to say that I enjoy complex environments, and this is actually quite important for me. Coming back to the basics, so how I actually transitioned to that position. So 2 years of after 2 years of working in the property sector in Canadian company, we had very hard merger with another property company which actually acquired us, and they also were and they still are pres pursuing the traditional way of doing the project management. But at some point, I found out that a lot of the team members of mine were overburdened with the routine bureaucracy tasks, and they couldn't understand the software properly. They couldn't understand how they need to customize the features um, in the CRM system which we use on a daily basis. So, and then some of the people actually, because of that pressure, because of that kind of a high stake environment, some of the people actually from my team had a stroke. So, as an empathic person, I understand that something needs to be done, and what I've done. So I came across the agile way of doing things because it produces things faster, it more reactive, it's more flexible. You can actually deliver more within the same time as in comparison to the traditional one. So I decided to act. So I volunteered as the Scrum Master to try to obviously have some small scale or scope of work on CRM customization, at least to promote faster delivery in terms of the components and features which are supposed to be there, and to remove that pressure from the ordinary jobs of my colleagues. So that's how I work collaboratively with the HR and also with the other developments who gladly provided me with the team who can help us to have this trial project. And eventually, that within the 2 years of time, that so-called trial project actually evolved. We start delivering releases faster, so the CRM system become less complex for ordinary workers to deal with. Again, I'm really glad actually that my colleague who had a stroke because of that recovered, and then now she's actually using that CRM system, and then she's quite happy about it. So at least from this sense, I feel very positive, and that's actually energized me to move forward to the new beginnings. And that's how our team evolved, as well as right now we're working on some different customizations on a different portfolio of the portfolio clients, as well as we work in different sectors like residential, industrial, commercial, and retail. So obviously, because the system built in a way that we can actually do that, and that's what me as a Scrum Master, pursuing in the future and currently doing right now.
Mhm.
So that's how my transition from the ordinary release admin to the Scrum Master happened.
Okay. Tia, you have anything for Eugene?
Yes. Hi, Eugene. So I
Hello.
like to start with how your Scrum Master day starts. So what are the things you do in a day?
So first of all, obviously, my day always starts differently because sometimes I'm a Scrum Master working from home, like today, and sometimes I'm Scrum Master obviously working from the work environment. So if you talk about the work environment, my day normally starts with uh, obviously, first of all, quickly speaking with the team to find out how they're doing, how they feel. So what's the is there any worries? Is there any impediments they facing, so-called from the personal perspective or from work overall? And right after, I obviously start working on my emails because obviously I accumulated some emails to understand, and I check also my calendar in terms of to find out what are my priorities for today and so on. As we right now more like a mature team, so I actually present very rarely on a daily scrums, which my team which normally happen around 10 o'clock in the morning. So, but anyways, but when I am present, obviously I'm checking on them, so I'm making sure that the time box, they stick to the topic, they're focused, they produce what's supposed to be produced, and at the same time, again, I'm still learning from them because that's as previous interviewer clearly mentioned that obviously when you are not from the IT background, every day you learn, every day you have something, some incremental learning which comes to your head, and then obviously later on when you receive that from developers, you actually it's energize you, and it's also giving you a plan for today, because every day you learn something new. Right after that, obviously I'm normally having
Eugene,
some actually on some certain
Eugene,
uh team. Yeah,
Eugene, am I audible? So tell me
yeah,
about
sure.
two new things, new learnings which you have done in last week.
So one of the learnings I would say is that it's that team which I'm leading right now doesn't need much of supervision or servant leadership from my side. That was actually quite a interesting feeling when you delivered and invested so much of your time and effort and emotions and so on in my team, so that they right now they are self-managing. They are actually doing the work the way it's as per agile principles, and they are embracing themselves for the new challenges. So that was the first one, and another one was the what I learned is that I understand that working on complex environments not only uh, helps helps people get better and get embrace them for the challenge, but also, in my understanding, it's helping me to learn about the new things and link the dots. Like my favorite exercise is the link the dots, because sometimes in a complex environments there are lots of miscommunicated endpoints, and then your task obviously as a scrum master to find out, to make conclusions and to link these dots. So that's the learning from the last week. I found out that I'm actually good at linking the dots, I believe, and obviously I still need to improve, but that process actually give me additional energy, and that's how I'm going to continue this way in the future.
Okay.
So
Eugene, I have a yeah. Go ahead.
yeah, so Eugene, so what is the duration of this project?
So duration of this project is so their plan is for 2.5 years. So they should
Two and
complete
a half years, and you joined 6 months before.
No, I joined that. Yeah, so I joined the 6 months before. Yeah,
Okay, so this
yeah,
project is started 6 months before
yeah,
when you joined.
yeah.
Yeah, and within
yeah.
a 6 months, your team is self-managed, self-organized. This is what you're telling.
No. The thing is, with that team, I worked on the previous project. So this specific project we work on 6 months, but another similar project with a similar, obviously the background, it was happening for 1.5 year before. So technically, that team, because team evolved to the new
No,
challenges,
no, I
meaning
just
this
ask
project.
you, what are your recent two
Yeah,
learnings? You mentioned that one of my team is self-managed and self-sustainable and something like that. You mentioned that that's your learning, right? So that's your recent
yeah.
team. So within a 6 months, your team is self-managed, self-sustained. That's what you're telling?
No. It's same team. It was the same team which evolved for almost 2 years. So that's what, because the team jumped from one project, like one project finished, another started, and the same team I'm dealing with is also
Okay, so you have a same team.
took over. Same
You have
team.
a same team. Same team?
Yeah,
Oh, okay, so
yeah,
with the same team, you're working from last 2.5 years. That's what you're telling,
yeah,
in a way. Okay. What's your team current
yeah.
velocity?
So my team current velocity is 30 story points.
30 story points. And what's the duration of your sprint?
So duration of my sprint normally 2 weeks.
Normally, so it
Yeah,
means
yeah,
there is
2 weeks
something.
before like again before we had slightly lengthier when there was more dependencies, more uncertainties. Right now
Okay,
it's
okay, okay.
slightly
So,
with
okay,
the
that's okay. Okay, that's okay. So what is your one story point equal to? How many hours you have for one story point?
So right now we have the one story point is 8 hours of work. So
Eight
basically
hours.
yeah.
So, so your team members are just able to finish only just 6 story points per sprint. And that too, when your team is self-managed, self-sustainable, you are having a high performance team. Don't you think it's too less?
No, the thing is it depends on the tasks, right? So like
I mean,
as of now,
whatever the
yeah.
task, but it still is too, like, your team is underperforming, no?
No, the thing is, look, so if you talk about that one story point, so if we have 30 story points, so meaning they have 240 hours, right? So times obviously times uh, six times 5 people, so it's about what 4 point, like it's all around 4 story points. So yeah, but again, right now what we've done so far, that's why I believe the team is mature. We sliced the user story to such a point that they don't actually need to work on, they're all manageable, they're all relatively small in scale. That's why we have quite a lot of work um, on the backlog refinement. So that's why right now the team is actually having some X amount of the story points within the sprint, and that's why they, but because of we slice it properly, they have a manageable amount of work to be completed.
It should be more,
In
right? Why
general,
is so? It's too less. It's too less. Study
that's
is
what
too
I'm
less
saying.
for 5 team member.
So the velocity for us is
Yeah.
the obviously forecasting tool. So we know that how we can obviously evolve in the future, and then it also depends on the scope of work which we need to do, right? So in the project which we had before, the one which I had before the 6 months, the amount of the story points we had around 60. So it's almost twice more, but because there were more work to do. So eventually we will evolve with the more work. But my main idea is that we need to
Okay. What
put
is the story point?
effort.
What is a story? What is
Once
a
again.
story point? What is a story point?
So the story point is the amount of hours you would like to no, you actually place in like your efforts too, and then that's the metric which shows you the size
So
of
usually if
the
it's an
work you're
hour,
gonna.
if it's an hour, then we just simply use hours, right? Why we need a story point? So
So
if
we
it's
need the
simply the
story points.
hours, if the unit is hours, then we simply use hours that okay, this task will take 10 hours, 5 hours, 2 hours, 6 hours. Then why
For the
we need a
story
story
point.
point?
So we need the story points to define the scope of work. So it's a relative metric. So it means when we have different tasks with a different size, we use that story points calculation. So it's actually based on a Fibonacci sequence, which mainly done specifically to promote the communication for us to define that story points to communicate to correctly define the task which we need to do, this to size it, and also to create the shared understanding. Doing as the part of our team collaboration effort, we use playing poker to define which one, how many story points right now
Okay,
we
okay,
use
okay,
to.
okay, okay. That's it. Okay, okay, okay. Yeah, Priya, over to you.
Yeah. Eugene, you have mentioned your team is a very mature team. So for that mature team, why we need a Scrum Master?
So thank you so much, first of all, for the question. The thing is, as of now, I'm leading the team in a highly complex environment, and basically, team Scrum Master always organize the team. So yes, in general, some teams might sometimes happen to feel that they actually don't need this
Eugene, your
Scrum
network is interrupted.
Master. Don't we have
Eugene, we are not able to hear you. Can you join via your mobile?
me?
We are not able
Yeah,
to
yeah,
hear
sure.
single words. Can you join with your mobile?
Yeah. I will join in a second. Can you hear me now?
You can disconnect from your system.
Once again?
It's coming in loop, so you have to log out from the previous one.
Okay, let me try my headphones again. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah.
Perfect. Priya, is it possible for you to repeat the question? My apologies for technical difficulties.
No issues, Eugene. So you have been working with the team for 2.5 years, and you have said that your team is a very mature team and they are self-organized. So why we need a Scrum Master for that team?
So thank you so much for the question. So in this situation, what I can definitely tell that from my experience, improvement is always continuous thing. That's on every single sprint, on every single project. There's always something to learn, something new. Even if the mature team is completely self-managed, due to the nature of our work in a complex environments, in highly dependency situations, and as well as the stakeholder collaborations, specifically to our project, in general, I believe they are mature enough, but at the same time, some of the things in terms of organizational part still need to work on. So obviously they need a Scrum Master still, but at the same time, I also try to make them the best versions of themselves all the time. And yes, eventually they probably gonna go to other project, or I'm gonna go another project. But even though they're highly self-managed, due to the nature of the project, they still need me. They still need to improve, and that's what I'm delivering on a daily basis. Thank you.
Okay. So you have mentioned your team is 5. So
Mhm.
if any one of the team member is not performing or underperforming, so what should you do in that kind of situation?
Okay, thank you so much for the question. So in this case, what I'm traditionally like, obviously the performance is always a key indicator in any situation, and then obviously everyone should be aligned. Everyone's supposed to be performing to their maximum. Obviously, in my project, there were situations when one of the team members were not performing well, and obviously it was really hard to understand why. So what specifically I've done, I had one-on-one meeting with that person to define what's the nature of and what is the root cause of the problem. We, all my team already know that we constantly use this technique, and this technique is always helping us, the techniques of 5 whys. So with that specific person who, his name actually Rodrigo, so what actually been happening that time on my project is that he had some deep personal issues, and it's actually distracted him from the actual work, like what he's doing on a daily basis. So I spoke with him, and I clearly defined that the reason for that, and we try to come up with the plan to resolve it, because obviously the personal issues is not something which going just easy like this. So there's some works behind it need to be done. So eventually, as a result of this communication, first of all, he feel heard. So I was open to him, and then he was open to me, which is also the most important part of the value which we need to promote in during our Scrum. And as a result, he was more focused later on, and he collaborated more actively in the future sprints.
Okay, Jen. So if the person is still underperforming and he's not doing his work on the upcoming sprints too, what is the next step you would have taken?
Mhm. Okay, thank you so much for the question. So can I just briefly clarify, is that we talk about the same person? Let's say, for example, after
Yeah,
that,
yeah,
same person.
same
Okay.
person. Yeah.
So if that same person still underperforming, it means there's still something affecting him. So again, always in any process, always you go into the cause first, because you need to define, for you to act, you need to know what's actually causing it. So if the cause is the same cause which happened to which happened originally, like it means the original impediment was not completely solved, we still try to find alternatives. Like there's what I believe as a Scrum Master, there's no problem, there's always solutions. So it means there's always solution to any problem. We just need to find it. And at the same time, we know that we are time constrained. So then, because obviously we need to deliver the sprint, and we need to commit to the sprint. So that's why what I would do, and what in this particular situation, I would talk to him one more time. If there's something that cannot be resolved only with my presence, but with the presence of someone else, we will involve that person. We will make sure that he will feel safe, and he feel that the problems go into the part of resolution. And then once it's there, and I will always gonna ask him to be open about it, because also I always keep in mind that the capacity and like mental capacity or physical capacity is always important. So even the person might be there, but mentally he might not be there. So that's alignment supposed to be always there. He need to be open with me, and that's what I always promote with all
It's
my
not
workers.
it's not a issue about open communication with you or someone else, but it affects the productivity and the sprint goal. So it's keep on going for the past 2 sprints. So what should you do? That's the question I'm asking.
Yeah. Okay. So if it's happened after past 2 sprints and it's not be able to resolve, so again, I believe that again, I still believe in resolution. There cannot be unresolved situations. I would, with his permission, what I would also do alternatively, I would try to maybe involve the team. Maybe the team can help, because again, the more heads we can put into it, because that's why we are the team. We try to collaborate. We try to be better together. We are dependent in a way. So I believe with the
No, in
more
future sprints
this,
also he don't work well.
um,
So based upon
so
his
if
performance, he
so
won't do well.
again, if based on his performance he's not going well, so I will go with my supervisor and will ask for help, because I need to understand what kind of resources we have, if like it's coming to the point when we need to replace him, or if it's coming to the point that we still have some capacity to maybe add addition. As my team is 5 people, let's say, for example, we can add additional person, and that person could be focused on something else. Again, it also depends on the nature of the problem,
So if
Mm-hmm.
he
right?
replace that person also, if he goes to other project, it will definitely affect the other projects also, no?
So
So
if
it
it's like
this
completely about his skills and capabilities, so as I said, I will definitely involve TA or HR to find uh, replacement who can contribute to the team to the level which supposed to be there. And for that person, again, probably he gonna be either uh, leaving the company or something. But again, there's some work need to be done. So that I will involve all the parties involved, and I always try to find some sort of resolution, because there could be unresolvable problem, right? So that's why that was my plan of actions for that.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Can you tell me what all matrices which you have used so far in your experience, last 2.5 years experience?
So in terms of matrices, I use mainly the following. So uh, in terms of charts, I normally use 3 charts. One of them is burn down chart, which is specifically shows how you progress toward the sprint goal. So in x-axis, you have obviously amount of the time,
Yeah, no need to
which is
describe. No need to
okay,
describe.
okay, sure. And I also use the burn up chart, which is a good metric to show what's additional work and how what additional work we have in the mid sprint. That's why I mentioned before. That's actually very good metrics which I use on a daily basis, and how we complete our task and how we can go closer to the.
Okay. So how
Uh,
you calculate the productivity of your team? How you measure the productivity of the team?
So one of the matrices which I use to measure the productivity of the team is basically the focus factor, right? So the focus factor equals average velocity by average capacity. So this gives me indication, this gives me coefficient, which shows how much people, how much the people involved in a specific task, meaning their clear time. So because the time is obviously deducted, all the holidays, all the day offs, and everything is deducted. So then how they can clearly participate focused on specific task. That coefficient I also use for the predictions, for example, for the future velocity prediction, because if I multiply that coefficient to the capacity for the next sprint, I can understand what my productivity will be for the next, what my velocity will be for the next sprint as well. So that's the key tool which I use normally on the sprint planning to see how productive, to at least have a prediction how productive I will be on the next sprint.
Okay, what are the metrics you will share to the stakeholders?
So to the stage to the shareholder, so I have one of the matrices which I use specifically. Let's say, for example, in a sprint review, obviously it's the first of all is the sprint predictability. So when we divide the completed task to the total amount of committed tasks, so then if it shows, let's say, so normally it should be within a range between 80% to 95%. And so obviously, if it's under 80, it means we need to work something. There's something dependency. There's some blockers which not allow us because that's why we under committing. And then also it shouldn't be also always 100% because then we over committing and then I'm just burning down the team. So it should be within a reasonable range so that to make it healthy. Another matrices which I use also for the stakeholders as well to see let's say, for example, one of the happiness index. So then they know this is actually, I also use, like sometimes I use it on a review. Normally I use it in retro just to show the team how they're performing, but also I want to show sometimes to stakeholders that the team is positive, so that they have positive towards the new beginnings, and then that for the next sprint they're also kind of ready to go, even that after the sprint finished, they can see that they're still ready to commit. They're not overwhelmed, and that's one of the things which also important to show to stakeholders. As well, I show them the community flow diagram because so they see that how we're progressing and how we've been progressed towards through the sprint. So in each level of all the processes, how if we have any bottlenecks, if what kind of
Okay. Can you tell me like how you are going to measure how efficiently the project work is executed? So basically the process matrices.
So anyway, in terms of the in this case, again, one of the matrices which I use is a burn-up chart. So when you see that the total amount of work which you need to complete and then total amount of work you completed already through the time, that's actually give you indication if you're moving in the right direction, right? Because over there you can clearly see that if anything added work added there, so then it means you further up obviously from your goal to reach the completeness of the project.
What is the name of that line? What is the name of the line?
Which one?
In the matrices you shows some line, no? What is the line name?
So yeah, so that line is the completed work. So like the total amount of work which you need to produce, and then the bottom line which you currently have is the completed work line. So then how much you completed within duration of time.
Okay.
Okay. Do you have any idea? Yeah, you want to go?
Yeah. So tell me, Eugene, what is velocity?
So velocity, again, this is the metric which we use obviously to define how team is. It's a forecasting actually tool for us to understand how the team is performing their duties. Normally, we calculate. We not consider velocity as is. We always consider the average velocity. Normally, we take the average velocity within like last 3 sprints, which gives us indication of how we are performing.
Wait, usually. So you mentioned it's a forecast matrix, right?
Yeah.
So let's say you have 5 team members and your velocity is 30, and let's say suddenly one of your team members left the organization and other team person is joining it, right? So in this case, this velocity is not going to give you any sort of prediction or forecast, or it will give you.
No, it's basically this forecasting tool.
So you cannot rely on velocity.
Not solely. So this is one of the matrices. So like you can't measure everything by velocity. I've been basically in general saying about into velocity in general. So obviously there's still the capacity. There's still like other matrices like the focus factor, like sprint predictability and all this stuff. They are showing more information about how you're delivering your duties. So the velocity as is, it cannot be used as a sole metric of the whole productivity or efficiency of the team.
So your team members total is 5, but for this current sprint, only 3 members is available. But your stakeholders have a lot of high priority things to complete on this current sprint. So how you manage that situation and without sacrificing or deprioritizing anything on the sprint? How you manage that situation?
So thank you again so much for the question. So in this situation, what's important is we need to work on two things at the same time. On one side, we need to deliver the value, meaning for the stakeholders and for the organization and as a team. On another thing, we need to not burn up our team completely, so then they should be functioning on the next sprint, and that's the whole point of the continuous pace. So in this case, what I would do is first I would speak with the stakeholders who given some last minute priorities, last minute add work or features. Or you wanted to say
He
something?
won't. Yeah. So you need to deliver this high priority things on this current sprint. There is no deprioritization. That's the question.
Okay. So in this case, first, that what I would look first, I would look if this task, which we need to, which is have higher priority and which we need to embed in our sprint, if it's actually following the sprint goal, because if it's not within the sprint goal, team need to be focused. We can put it later
It's like
on.
an add-on enhancement to the current details of user stories or anything. It's an
So yes.
enhancement of the thing. So it will definitely meet the sprint goal. It's an additional of work.
Yeah. So basically, in this case, as I said, as I always do, in my sprint backlog, there's always the high priority items, and there's also some mid and low priority items as well. So that's specifically done to make sometimes the trade-offs. So then, for this situation,
No
like you described.
deprioritization. As I mentioned earlier, no deprioritization. What should you do?
Okay. So in this case, as I said, it's not about the prioritization; it's about the trade-offs. So if some of this the task we can put it back for the future and then concentrate still on that task which was performed by the stakeholders, which was given by the stakeholders.
All the items are priority. For example, if our current sprint have 10 user story, all 10 user stories are priority, and your team need to deliver on the current sprint. There is no deprioritization. You have to do with the 3 team members.
Yeah. So basically, what I need to explain as well, that we have limited capacity, right? So my task, again, as a Scrum Master, and always going to be my task, is that not to protect the team, not to overburn them. If we're going to use right now all the possible extra user stories which they need to work on this particular sprint, and they have no priority, they all high priority and stuff, so we just burn the team down. So in my understanding, I need to still speak, there still should be some certain fine line in the amount of work, because they need to understand that there's a processes in place, there's capacity in place. So they need to understand that no matter how many tasks they're going to add, it's still the team cannot deliver what it's supposed to deliver, or it will deliver.
Any alternative way, Eugene? It's a one kind of solution you're providing. Is there any alternative solution for this?
So for this one, again, what I will do is I will discuss because obviously the additional user stories being placed placed from the PO side. So I would speak obviously with the PO and explain and ask him if there are any other teams or additionally working on the same items, and maybe this team also work collaborative on the same kind of program, and we can agree on a, I don't know, like some sort of like a trade-offs or something. So maybe they can help us out because we all go into the common product goal. So we, as the different teams, we need to collaborate. We need to make sure that we have them cross-functional, and then maybe if we don't have capacity or specific
Okay,
people who
Yushin,
can deliver them. Yeah.
Yushin, it's okay. It's okay. We understood. We got your point. So I have just one last question before we wrap up. Can you tell me example of definition of done from your project?
So one of the definition of done from my project was basically the completeness of the user acceptance testing to be able to move our released increment to the production. So that's the checklist criteria which I embedded in Jira, and that's one of the key points. Then without
That's it. What else?
feedback, yeah.
What
Let's say,
else?
for example, this also could be the it's not requirement, but let's say one of the checkpoints as well for the definition of done. We had a review from the PO side. So PO side looking at it and also like reviewing that everything is good, and then that the user stories is ready. We can still release it, but this additional kind of point, which is better. We have four additional 2 pair of eyes is better than one.
Okay. And why you want to join this organization, Yushin?
So I would like to join the organization because I believe I can add additional value. I can deliver predictable outcomes, as well as make team own complex environments and deliver the value which supposed to be delivered within your organization.
And why you are leaving your current organization?
So so basically, the situation is very simple. They right now forcing me to back to waterfall approach, and because the company is still bureaucratic, they still have that vertical way of thinking and not giving additional power to the people. They always try to manage or micromanage instead of actually helping people and collaboratively decide on something. They're telling you, they're not working with you. So that's what I like about the agile way of thinking in your organization. That's why I want to join to explore agile more.
Okay. Any last question for us, Yushin?
So first of all, I would like to thank you for interview, and no matter what the result, I value your time. I would like to make sure that you know that I am passionate about the agile. I really owe in everything what the team owe in, and that's the vision which I would like to transfer to your organization. So please consider this when you're making the decision.
Okay, so no questions. Okay, thank you, Yushin. Anything
Thank you
from
so
your
much.
side? Okay, we are good. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.